claim that Iran has launched a fresh round of missiles toward Israeli territory. Now, according to the IDF, air defense systems have been activated as missiles targeted key areas within Israel across the country. In fact, Israel says that efforts are currently underway to intercept the threat. So Donald Trump made the announcement. He said that there will be everlasting peace, but even hours after making that announcement, there does not seem to be peace. While it is ceasefire that has been announced by the US president, it does not seem to be reflecting on the ground. We have experts joining us this morning. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, defense expert on the broadcast with us, and Professor Madhav Nalapad, geopolitical analyst, also on the broadcast with us. Lieutenant General, is it a ceasefire that has been announced on social media but actually not reflecting on the ground? After Trump made that announcement, for hours now there have been attacks. Would you say that we need to wait for a few more hours to see, or is this again theatrics that's playing out on social media with no reflection on the ground?
Thank you, Pratibha. I think, it takes a little time for the ceasefire to come into effect, for the final orders to be given to the troops to stop firing. All of it takes time. So let's not think that it is just on paper. I'm quite positive that it is a ceasefire and negotiated, facilitated, and will be implemented by the United States of America without doubt. Netanyahu has himself gone in air to say, yes, the ceasefire is there. I'm told there's a U-turn from the foreign minister of Iran also. He also accepts that the ceasefire is there. Of course, the conditions are that neither side should fire on each other, which hopefully they will not fire on each other. I think it's a huge, big achievement. There is no denying the fact what was a 6-day war in 1967 is a 12-day war in 2025, and hopefully it should end the hostilities between Iran and Israel, because primarily the hostilities commenced in somewhere around 1970, and obviously with the view of wanting to throw out Israel and wipe out Israel from the map of the world. All that talk must stop now, and it's very essential. Both the countries don't have a border in common. They're almost 1,500 kilometers apart. And therefore, it's a very good news, and I think we should all accept it with positivity. I have no doubt.
But would it be foolhardy to be so positive? That's the only question that comes in, because Trump has also, Professor Madhav Nalapad, spoken about the 12-day war. Does that undermine the hostilities between the two nations? And it doesn't talk about the history between two nations. Would you say that, or would you say it's only talking about the escalating tensions between the two nations? And he says that this ceasefire will continue forever. Within hours, he has gone from calling Iran the bully of the Middle East to now saying, God bless Iran.
What he means is, God bless the people of Iran, and the people of Iran have never been the target, neither of Israel nor of the United States. So the reality is, if it is a genuine peace, it is definitely to be welcomed, as the distinguished military expert has said. There's no doubt about it, because that is going to help the entire Middle East. It will again stabilize oil prices. It will ensure there is no threat to the Strait of Hormuz, and that is a very, very welcome development. And I would like to say that I think the nuclear capability of Iran, according to my sources, has been very, very severely compromised, and Iran will now have to subject itself to
But what about regime change that both Israel and US have been talking about, Professor, that regime change will be happening? Is that put in abeyance for now?
Look, regime change was always supposed to have been done by the Iranian people themselves, and not by the US, not by Israel. Regime change from outside, as the Iraq war has shown, as Libya has shown, and frankly, as Syria is now showing, is a disaster. So regime change, if it takes place, has to be organic and internal. So from that point of view, it's again up to the people of Iran to judge the results of the war and to judge the effect. And I think, frankly, the missile capability is much lower. The possibility of a nuclear bomb is now very much lower. I think the people can judge for themselves. And the point is, the clerics accept Iran. Nowadays, I'm seeing scattered references in the Iranian media to Israel. Previously, it was called the Zionist entity. Nobody called it anything other than the Zionist entity. Now they started calling it Israel. And frankly, if the clerical regime in Iran recognized the right of the Jewish people, the right of Israel to exist, then I think, frankly, that's a very welcome sign again.
Okay, so then peace may be on the anvil after all. That's what you're saying, that it may take some time, 24 hours like Donald Trump has said, but there could be a ceasefire because Iran is also well aware of the capabilities that it has. In fact, earlier in the day, it did strike the US base, but it was only with prior warning being given to Qatar. In fact, we have more updates coming in. With the announcement coming in from the US President Donald Trump that there will be ceasefire and it's going to be everlasting peace in the Middle East. Is there any indication that this is going to be true or not?